Hello and welcome back, everyone, to Legacy of the Duelist and Rocket Rabbit Commentaries. And in this episode, we'll be continuing on with Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds as we have officially started Season 3. Last time, we ended up meeting up with Sherry LeBlanc as she attempts to recruit us for her team for the upcoming tournament that's happening. However, instead we're meeting up a new member of the 5Ds crew, Bruno. Bruno is going to be a very important player much later on. But right now, he's dealing with his Amnesia Plotline, which is the second time that 5Ds just uses an Amnesia Plotline in order to introduce / resurrect a character.
Which means that it's the third time in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! That a character arrives with amnesia.
Much more than that, because if you recall, Atem arrives with amnesia, and...
Right, he was the one I was thinking of.
I'm relatively certain that at least one other character in classic Yu-Gi-Oh! Suffers from amnesia. Technically, Jaden suffers from partial amnesia. Yeah, as does Atticus. So there.
So there are 5 characters... There are a couple things that can happen to you in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Universe. You can get sent to the Shadow Realm. You can lose a children's card game, or you can lose your memories.
Or you can get resurrected with amnesia. Haha.
Or you could be sent into a coma.
Yes. All right. So we're starting up the three-way duel between 5Ds and Team Unicorn. Team Unicorn is an absolutely terrible team. Only one of their members are actually all that difficult for us to take down during this. But the way that this ends up being balanced out is because, despite the fact that only one of their members is actually a big threat, we end up fighting against them with all 3 of our members still. And it's really weird that that happens because, to be perfectly honest, Jack Atlas should be able to kill these guys on his own very easily. And yet he ends up struggling specifically against the second member of Unicorn. At least I think it is. As Annotation Gurdette mentions here, I am actually a big fan of the setup for Team Unicorn. The problem is their actual best monster is this one, Thunder Unicorn. And yet they have 2 evolutions on this monster with Voltic Bicorn and Lightning Tricorn, neither of which are good.
Oh, this little fella is fun. Yeah, I guess, yep, just let Quibble Hedgehog take the hit.
Okay, so how do we actually take down the Thunder Unicorn from here, Mr. Cloud?
Change to face-up defense mode, but then Jut Fighter doesn't have enough attack. That is a good question. I mean, we do have Turret Warrior. Maybe Turret Warrior can help us out here. Okay, so Quibble Hedgehog has been returned to the battlefield by his effect.
Alright, so we're going to sacrifice Jute Warrior for Turret Warrior. And now Turret Warrior does have enough attack to take down Thunder Unicorn.
Alright. Beautiful. Because he gains the attack of the monster, of the warrior type monster you tributed in order to get him out. Uh-oh.
It's okay. Parallel selection just allows him to grab Soul Charge from his graveyard.
An unexpected development.
Somewhat expected. I mean, if they're going to play traps, they're going to be battle traps at this point in Yu-Gi-Oh's history. Alright. This is not what Soul Charge is supposed to do, but this is what every AI ends up using Soul Charge to do any goddamn way. Just flood their field with monsters that they can't use.
Right, because they can't attack this turn.
Not only can they not attack this turn, Andre can't Synchro Summon right now. Specifically because he unfortunately already has the only Synchro monster he's running out on the field. So, what the fuck was the point of activating Soul Charge?
Well, now he's got defenders, so we can't just wail into his life points right now.
Hey, Vale. I don't actually know how to pronounce that particular fawn's name, so I'm just gonna call it Vale. The Mystical Forest archetype is not actually an archetype. It's effectively 2 fucking monsters, but they are very powerful monsters in this deck. They are specifically this fawn and a hedgehog. and the hedgehog very specifically is very cute. I actually
There
like
are
a
a lot of
the
really cute monsters here.
yeah, I like a lot of the I like a lot of the art design for the Unicorn Beast archetype, or the Unicorn Beast collection of cards that Team Unicorn is actually running. The thing is, that doesn't make them powerful, to be perfectly honest. Like, you would think that they would actually be relatively powerful because there's a lot of synchro laddering potential here, and then it just never and then it very specifically never ends up actually, you know, succeeding in what it's supposed to do. Unfortunately, I can't use Scrub Raid specifically to sacrifice my Quillbolt Hedgehog because my monster has to go to the graveyard in order to have Scrub Raid successfully resolve.
Really?
Yep.
Huh. How about that? So we are seeing some interactions unexpectedly among effects, and that's why he normal summoned the Bubonic Firm, because you can only synchro summon face-up monsters.
But there we go.
Ooh,
now we have access to Junk
okay.
Synchron. Now we can go into Stardust Dragon, and this game is more or less over.
Ended by a search ability once again. Right, now that, because we have a level 3 tuner now, 3 plus 5 equals Stardust Dragon, and Stardust Dragon is the only option we have for synchro summoning, which I find actually quite ridiculous.
It does make sense given the narrative that we are presented with. We are supposed to specifically be sharing our extra deck with both Crow and Jack right now. But very specifically, Yusei's not supposed to be able to go into RDA, despite the fact that both Stardust and RDA are, you know, generic level 8 synchros.
We have a considerable amount of protection now, thanks to the Scrub Raid.
Yes, as Annotations Grenette mentions here, Thunder Unicorn is just objectively better than both Voltic Bicorn and Lightning Tricorn. The three monsters, although are linked together by Lightning Tricorn, do drastically different things. Thunder Unicorn's a battle trick, Voltic Bicorn's a middle deck, and Lightning Tricorn's recovery. And unfortunately, because Lightning Tricorn's recovery, they just straight up can't get into it most of the damn time. Hello, Stronghold Defender. Alright. Dash Warrior.
Time to dash.
Yes, we'll have Dash Warrior kill his face-down monster.
Activate the effect of a card? You betcha.
Key, mouse. Oh man, he got Des Koala.
That's a trick out of our playbook.
I mean, kind of. I mean, I wouldn't actually use Key Mouse to get Des Koala. I'd end up using Key Mouse to get a level 3 tuner of some kind, but I'm not sure which tuner. Probably X-Saber Bellum. And here we go. Rhoda for another Junk Synchron. Which, if my math is correct, will allow us to go into a second Stardust Dragon. Haha.
Cause we got Quillbolt, and yep, we got it.
Mind you, it would actually behoove us to not go into another Stardust Dragon right now. We would actually lose attack points doing it.
Good. Well, except that Jet Fighter has to be summoned in defense mode.
No, we wouldn't be using Jute Fighter for the Synchro anyway. Alright, thank you, Dash Warrior. And 100 and 1300 for game. Yay,
Victory.
we beat Andre. Oh, yes. Also, narratively speaking, Jack and Crow both lost to Andre. So now Yusei has to take down both Brio and the final member of Team Unicorn on his own. In the DS game, which was the DS 2012, which I forget what the subtitle for that one is. I think it's Over the Nexus. This fight is actually really interesting because they try and set it up as a duel puzzle where you end up using Yusei, a combination of Yusei, Crow, and Jack's deck with the leftover pieces from each previous player's field in order to specifically Junk Destroyer, in order to specifically handle the endurance duel that you end up that they end up playing here. But with that, it's just an interesting concept all in all, to be perfectly honest. So, are we going to put down Fortress Warrior or Ghost Gardener? Looks like we're going to set Ghost Gardener. Okay.
Yeah, I would have put down Fortress Warrior.
I mean, Fortress Warrior is interesting, but he doesn't have high enough defense points. And now that Brio's using Obedience School to show off that he's running the Fabled stuff.
Yes, the Light Fiend monsters.
Into Mind
Pegasus. Yeah.
See, we were actually able to do battle damage this turn. And then he used, he discarded Needleworm. Yeah, Brio specifically is running the Voltic Bicorn package. And to be perfectly honest, I really enjoy Voltic Bicorn as a concept. It just straight up does not fucking work for the most part.
So starting to look. How about a quick draw synchron?
What would I go into?
Card Breaker in the graveyard.
Is the thing, because like there's not much in my extra deck that a quick draw would allow me to get into right now, except for maybe Junk Destroyer. And if I'm going into Junk Destroyer, I'd rather just actually use Junk Synchron for it in order to destroy multiple cards at once.
Dude, Stardust Dragon.
I can't go into Stardust Dragon right now.
Well, why? Because Quick Draw Synchron can only go into Synchro monsters?
Yes. Well, Warrior Synchro monsters, but yeah.
I forgot about that stipulation.
But now I can go into Junk Destroyer, so I can take down both of his monsters and Mind Mole. Flip summon the Fortress Warrior, and then Synchro summon Junk Destroyer.
Hell yeah.
I actually am a really big fan of Junk Destroyer. I will admit that this particular payoff for it is relatively rare in general, but when it goes off very nicely. Alright, so we're going to kill Mind Mole and his back row card. Okay.
Good choices.
I honestly think the face down monsters would have been better picks. Yeah, that's Bicorn Ream, and Bicorn Ream had better defense points than Mind Mole did, so...
They will all fall swiftly by our 2,600 attack point monster. Oh damn it! He just said Lightning Vortex.
It's okay. Now that we actually have a Max Warrior in our hand, Quick Draw Synchron is a legitimately better play than normal. So, but we're gonna go Dash Warrior first anyway.
Yeah, I could have gotten into Junk Archer.
Nah, no, I don't have a 2.
No, you had it to.
No, I can't normal summon. I can't normal summon my card guard.
I keep forgetting these little stipulations on the cards.
Yeah, a card breaker would be interesting to go into there, but very specifically, yeah, I could normal summon it. So instead, we're going into Junk Destroyer again. Haha.
That's a thing about Yu-Gi-Oh! That I find happens more often in this game than in Magic the Gathering. Yu-Gi-Oh! Really makes it clear what you can't do with cards. Magic the Gathering just says what the card does, and with maybe a few conditions like activate with sorcery speed or activate once per turn, things like that. Like, wicked simple, a lot more liberal, and also really clear without having to, pick up your reading glasses if you have a move or not.
Yeah, the reason why Yu-Gi-Oh! Does that is because it wants its archetypes very specifically to be xenophobic instead of meshing well, especially with a lot of the more recent archetypes. But with that, Brio has successfully been defeated. Go, Max Warrior, direct attack.
Maximize damage.
Alright, in the next episode, we will finally take down the last remaining member of Team Unicorn. Hey, we got Mega Hamster. Woot! Be safe, everybody.